everyone, and welcome to the Every Movie Ever podcast. My name is Ben Groves.
And my name is Rob McFarlane. Welcome to the show where two best friends with awful mental health analyse films too hard instead of themselves. It's sort of part movie analysis, part self-analysis, and all fun nonsense.
Yay!
What do you feel in the spirit of this being a mental health check-in, thinly veiled as a podcast?
Thinly veiled.
I should ask how you doing before I ask what are we doing. So Ben, how are you doing?
I'm in a bit of a toilet. Like, my brain's in a bit of a blender. The whole self-worth thing's coming in.
Bed burrito yet?
Nah, man, I can't do it. If I do that, I just don't unburrito for a week. You know what I mean?
You just become burrito ergo sum. You just like, I am burrito.
Yeah. That's essentially it, man. But yeah, it's all good. It's all looking up slowly. It's just
nice.
It's picking up slowly. How are you, buddy?
Weirdly, better.
Good.
Not good. But I guess I feel like the last couple of weeks, my house has been on fire. And I've been there going, what can I save? Oh my God, I must get the family pictures. I must get my limited edition NES. And It's all gone now. It's all just ashes and it's quiet and the fire engines have left. And I'm like, okay. Well, It's happened now. And I must find a tent. I'm at that point. I'm picking out tents rather than going, oh my God, a fire.
You're at the rebuilding stage. The panic's over. The damage is done. You get to sift through the ashes and put your shit back together. That's a good place to be, though, man, because now everything's an opportunity. Everything's an opportunity. It's all good.
And speaking of opportunities, we've got the opportunity to cover our next Marvel movie, which today is, Ben?
Iron Man 2, buddy!
Iron Man 2.
The
sequel that everyone forgets, including us.
Yeah, I fully forgot this film, man. I'm not even joking. I genuinely don't. In my notes, my second or third note down, I've genuinely written, I don't think I've ever seen this film. I remembered nothing about it.
Yeah, it does struggle to stick in the memory. I mean, it cost $200 million to make, and Favreau had way less time on this one than he did on the first one.
Okay.
And he had way more involvement from Marvel as well, who were much more like, no, we're telling you what this film is.
Oh, right, okay.
But it still made $623 million at the box office.
Woo!
Yeah, right?
But it's Favreau, though, isn't it? Now we're back into respecting the source material.
Ish, as much as he could, yeah.
That's all that matters, right? If his hands were tied, and he did the best with what he had, which is fucking incredible.
Yeah. And for 2010, Marvel aren't quite as dominant at the box office in 2010 as they are now. I mean, this was the number seven highest grossing film of the year. So it wasn't huge. Okay. Whereas if you look at them now, if they're not in the top three, people are like, Marvel's dead.
Oh, yeah, I guess. yeah, I guess.
They only made $2 billion this year. Dead.
Walt Disney's rolling in his fucking grave. We all know he's not buried. We all know he's frozen.
Yeah,
come on,
he's frozen. Yeah,
he can't spin.
For the benefit of those that haven't seen the film recently, which I imagine is most of our viewers, or those who saw and forgot it, shall we do a little breakdown?
Yeah, I mean, this is also for my benefit. I've seen this film exactly twice, and that is this week that I've seen this film twice.
So,
who's going first?
I think you start us off this week, bud. I'm just looking at what I've written, because I know you've not read it yet. I'm looking at the bits I want you to read.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So if you go first, buddy.
I've just seen what you've highlighted. You're a dick. Yeah, all right. I see why I'm going first. All right, cool. Tony Stark faces a severe health crisis. The palladium core in his chest that powers the Iron Man suit is poisoning his blood. Not only that, the gosh darn government is daring to ask if a private citizen going abroad to fight private wars is in any way moral or constitutional.
Absolute arseholes.
Arseholes.
How dare they question a man's right to fly a wearable tank to other countries?
And just blow shit up. Yeah.
It's the American way.
It's the American way, man. Let a man fly in a suit and murder at his own will. Do you know what I mean? Star witness is Justin Hammer, a rival weapons developer who seeks to replicate Tony's suit-based awesomeness.
Played by the lovely Sam Rockwell, who
Incredible.
I have a straight crush on.
I have a not-so-straight crush on Sam Rockwell. I'm not going to lie to you, man. It's the quaff. Do you know what I mean? Like
and
the
this
quaff
is the
of
quaff,
hair.
but then if you think Three Billboards, if you think Moon,
He's always unhinged.
he's always unhinged. And I don't know if I want to buy him a beer or go to. I don't know what it is I want to do with him. I just know I want to do something with him. It's a straight guy crush, right?
Sure.
Across the globe, however, Russian tramp Ivan Vanko, seeking revenge for his father's removal from the arc reactor's history, emerges as Whiplash, wielding electric whips and more tattoos than the SoundCloud rapper's face. He seeks to dent Tony's untouchable image, ruining his role as the sort of sole protector and trusted guardian by the West.
More tattoos than a SoundCloud rapper's face. That's fucking incredible writing, buddy. Well done.
I did a recording session once in my old life as a sound engineer with a not inconsiderably sort of profile-sized artist.
Sure.
And tattoo artists turned up at 4 a.m.
Incredible.
And started just doing tattoos on people's faces. And I saw a guy get a portion of McDonald's fries tattooed on his face. I was like, dude, that's how you know you've made it though. If you want fries tattooed on your face at 4 a.m. and you're able to just do it, you've made it. You know what I mean? Right. Or you're a shoe-in at the next job we're hiring.
Yeah. There you go, man. It's all uphill sailing. Nothing but good decisions. After attacking Tony at the Monaco Grand Prix, Whiplash is captured and presumed dead. However, Justin Hammer has in fact secretly hired him to replicate Tony's suit tech. Whiplash accepts the offer from the blue-collar criminal on one condition. My board.
I want my board.
I want my board. I don't know why I'm doing the Italian hand in that.
No, I want my board.
I want my board.
Tony, faced with his own mortality, begins to lose control of his more addictive urges and impulsive nature. After a disastrous party, Rhodey steals the suit, Pepper quits, and DJ AM thinks Another One Bites the Dust by Queen counts as a fat beat.
It does, because it's an absolute banger.
Great song. Don't get me wrong. I'm a massive Queen nerd.
Incredible song.
I'm expecting noisier remix of Smack My Bitch Up. I'm expecting, pendulum remix of Voodoo People. I'm not expecting dum 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 dum.
Rob, if I ever look at you and say, drop me a fat beat, and it's not Queen, Another One Bites the Dust, we're not friends anymore.
All right, fine.
The Shield Daddy. Okay. The Shield Daddy. Brackets. Secret Peeper himself, Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Close brackets. Turns up to Tony's breakdown to drop some hot truth bombs. Turns out Howard Stark, Tony's father, has a secret trunk of love that he entirely kept from his son, containing all the validation a young boy could need and not be given until long after his father's death. It's the most brutal fuck you. It's worse than just leaving.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So much. I love it so much.
It's incredible.
I'm going to spend my entire living time making you hate me, and then from beyond the grave, make you feel like the cunt for it. Yeah.
Put that shit back, you little bastard. Right, so I'm guilt tripping the fuck out of you for the next 20 years. Fuck you. Watch me make these soppy ass films that you ain't going to discover for 20 years. Hidden inside are clues that lead to a new element capable of replacing the palladium. Takes Tony about 3 hours to make it work.
Easy work, mate.
It is easy work. It's easy work.
Literally like, oh, new element. Hang about. There's a map of like a theme park my dad built out of MDF and styrofoam.
Yeah. Here's a diorama of the Universal Studios.
Yeah, exactly. And pray to God that hot dog vendor didn't move his stand when they took the aerial photo. Otherwise, we're inventing Polonium 2010.
Yeah.
Suitably fixed by his father's love and a brand new type of matter that he made in his basement, he reconciles with Rhodey and faces off against an army of Whiplash-designed but Hammer-funded drone robots. Drobots?
Drobots is a good one.
Drobots, yeah.
Drobots.
The day saved, Tony gets his school report from Nick Fury and is told he must try harder to be a responsible adult if he ever wants to be an Avenger. Or as Tony puts it, you can't afford me.
Yeah.
And that's it. Sequel released, upcoming movies teased, done, dusted, and wow, that movie sped by.
You say that, mate. It was a fucking long 2 hours, if I'm being honest with you.
Really?
It was, mate, there were points in that where I was like, is this the first 3-hour Marvel movie? So to recap quickly, a recovering addict slips back into bad behavior and fights other less recovered addicts. The story ends with addict number 1 being told to work on himself and him deciding it's other people who must be wrong because he's clearly fucking great.
Tell me that's not the lesson of this story.
It kind of is the whole point of the movie.
Right.
It kind of is. It kind of. There's a little bit of the whole legacy shit in there as well. Like, you robbed me of my legacy and my board. I'm coming for your legacy. I can't stop doing this now. This is the worst.
Yeah. That's the film I think that Favreau was trying to make.
Mm-hmm.
Well, last Iron Man episode, you wanted a hearing about the legality of Iron Man's tech, right?
I did indeed.
You got it, buddy. And not only did you get it, you got it with Sam Rockwell as Justin Hammer.
Woo!
And Gary Shandling as Senator Stern.
I fucking love Gary Shandling, man. So much.
You're not the only one because why do you think he's called Senator Stern? Think back to recent movies we've covered.
No. It's not lost on me there, buddy. It was last week that we covered this movie.
Yes, it was.
It's is it Stern's like dad or cousin or distant relative?
No.
So it's not like a person in power that Stern, who becomes the leader, can then lean on to gain traction.
See, that's what I thought when I saw the little card, and then I remembered that it's the professor who becomes the leader is Samuel Stearns.
Fuck off.
So I was like, okay, well, there must be some other really important canon reason that they've got a name so similar in the very next movie.
Yeah, definitely.
And it turns out Gary Shandling was able to pick his own name for his character, and he picked Senator Stern because Howard Stern is a massive fan. Not of Iron Man, mind you, of Gary Shandling.
Fuck off! Fuck off! That's not true. There's no way that that's true.
That's true. According, IMDb, they state that he picked the name Stern so that he could have a name in there that would remind people how much he is loved by the DJ Howard Stern.
Do you know what's so annoying about that, right?
All right.
I thought I was onto something here. I was like, I've got I've got a little tidbit for this episode, right?
Same.
Because at the very end of the movie, when Nick Fury's talking to Tony Stark about we're not sure that we want you in the Avengers just yet.
Yeah.
In the makeshift office that Nick Fury has set up in a warehouse, there's a screen displaying a news report, and the news report is about an incident at Culver University, but it's reversed. So I paused it and then was just sort of like trying to read it backwards. I'm dyslexic as shit, so trying to read it forwards is a fucking nightmare. Tried to read it backwards and was like, Culver University. That's the fucking Incredible Hulk thing. So the Incredible Hulk fight happened at the end of Iron Man 2, but the film came out before it, and I was piecing all this shit together. Yeah. You know the meme with like all the math symbols?
Yeah.
Like trying to piece it all together and shit. Mate, I was in my element. I was fucking detective. And I thought, okay, so then Stearns leads into this. So the leader hasn't happened yet. Maybe they're just relatives and the senator doesn't know that his fucking cousin or his son or whatever the shit's going on is about to become the leader. But it just turns out he just wanted to shout out Howard Stern, and there's no fucking relation whatsoever.
Turns out Gary Shandling loves Gary Shandling more than you love Gary Shandling.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that makes me love him more. Ironically, that makes me love him more.
You said you didn't remember this film, but I remember you bringing up the courtroom scene, right?
Right. So the courtroom, I might have seen this. I might have seen this.
Wow, it made that much of an impact.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure I've seen the whole film. I remember the courtroom scene, and I don't know whether it was because I've watched this film through and thought, oh, well, that's clever. You know, they've gone about the legality of it. Or whether I've just seen like a clip of it somewhere.
You just watched a YouTube Sam Rockwell's best roles, and you're like,
maybe.
Oh, he played Justin Hammer in an Iron Man movie. Cool. And
I do wake up in like a cold sweat at 4 a.m. and just search immaculate coiffes on YouTube. You know what I mean? It could have just been in that, because that courtroom's full of them. You know what I mean?
True. It is. It is. Now, this courtroom, however, is the birthplace of Don Cheadle's Rhodey.
Oh my God, buddy.
Not only is he an incredible recast, but I think the thing is, do you know why he was recast?
I know what's going on now, but I don't know whether it's the same reason back then. Is it because Terrence went mental?
Okay, no, Terrence Howard is a nutter. He's got his own branch of mathematics called Terrynomics, where he
Terrynomics?
Teriology, sorry.
Teriology, there we go. Yeah.
Terrence Howard believes that 1 times 1 isn't 1, all of maths is wrong. 1 times 1 has to be 2.
Bro,
right?
I've seen this. I couldn't get my head around it. He makes 2 people get the calculators out and is like doing different equations but getting the same answer. And I'm like, buddy, if you do 5 plus 2, it equals 7. But also, 3 plus 4 is 7. You're going to lose your fucking mind when you get above 1 plus 1. You know what I mean? Or 1 times 1. You're going to lose your mind.
It wasn't teriology. It wasn't the fact that he's collecting domestic violence charges like they're Funko Pops.
Bro.
It's the fact.
It's an incredibly serious thing that he is collected, but that was a very funny way of putting it. Well done.
He's an awful human being. He's an absolutely reprehensible human being. But the main thing with this is that Iron Man 1, Robert Downey Jr. got paid $500,000 to appear in the role. Terrence Howard got paid $3.5 million.
What?
Yes. Because Robert Downey Jr. was a recovering addict. It was a risk. He was difficult to insure. He hadn't had a hit in a while. Terrence Howard, Oscar nominated. Everything he did really well. He was really well regarded.
He had those great theories on the pyramids.
Scared exes. No, it's just...
Oh my God.
There is the slight issue that Iron Man 1 comes out. Is absolute box office sensation. Obviously, Robert Downey Jr. has to come back. So they're like, cool, we'll give him 10 mil.
Yeah.
But then we're going to have to adjust everyone's salaries accordingly. Terrence Howard wasn't in it all that much. And when he was in it, Jon Favreau really didn't get on with him on set. Like, he was constantly, there was a constant thorn in Favreau's side. So he was like, look, offer him a 9-picture deal, but for less per picture. And Howard was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And then started blaming Robert Downey Jr. for stealing his money. And
I don't think that's the case. I think what he was struggling with is he couldn't figure out the multiplication table of how Robert Downey Jr. went from $500,000 to 10 mil. He was like, in Terrynomics, that doesn't make sense. In Teriology, there's no equation for that yet. No. You know what I mean? You're too advanced at Teriology.
Yeah.
And I can't sit with that, so I'm out.
Yeah, fair. But I think Don Cheadle is a million times better.
Mate, that might be the greatest way to address a recast ever.
100%.
Ever. The whole sequence is fucking incredible. The way that Rhodes walks in and you just get the back of the head and you're like, that's not right?
Yeah.
And then when Tony Stark walks down the thing, he's like, hey buddy, I didn't expect to see you here. And he's like, look, it's me. I'm here. Deal with it. Let's just move on. And I was like, that is fucking incredible. That's the best way to address a recast that I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
Fair play.
And I think Don Cheadle carries so much of the drama of what little drama there is in this film.
Yeah.
I think Cheadle gets the lion's share of. There's a bit where Tony's very clearly dealing with the symptoms of his Iron Man suit use. The palladium's leaching into his blood. Rhodey's looking at him. He's like, what are you looking at? He's like, I'm looking at you. And it's just the delivery that he gives the line is like, I'm looking at you and your behavior and the fact that you're doing nothing about what is very clearly a bad situation. And I'm drawing a fucking line in the sand here, buddy. Little character moments like that are beautiful.
He carries those deep moments though. He plays the concerned friend to the very obvious like addict allegory.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%, because that's kind of what this is, right? It's Tony relapsing back into the ways of old.
Yeah, he's like his old way before he changed his mind about what he wanted his legacy to be. He's now relapsing into the old ways of like, well, fuck it, I'm a playboy, I can do what I want. I'm going to be dead in 2 weeks, so who gives a fuck? You know what I mean?
But I think that addict allegory is exactly right, and I think one of the big things that they cut from this movie, because I don't think it's an accident that famed ex-addict or recovering addict Mickey Rourke is cast as a man who also has arc reactor technology.
Oh, I think that's exactly it as well. Because Mickey Rourke is fucking insanely good in this film, mate.
He really is.
I don't even remember Mickey Rourke being in this fucking film.
Right, exactly.
At all.
Yeah.
At all. This hulking monster, like, in a corner of a dingy Russian flat, turning around with a bottle of vodka in his hand. I was like, who is this gorgeous monster that has just fucking skulked into my life again?
Yeah.
I had no memory of it. He's incredible.
I've got like an overarching theory of the villains in this film specifically, and how
I like how you said villains, Because
right?
that's very fucking interesting.
Right.
Okay.
So
I got similar notes.
So for me, it's between Whiplash and Justin Hammer, right?
Yes.
And they're both, for me, like dark mirrors of Tony. Whiplash because he's also got arc reactor technology that he's inherited from his father. He's played by a recovering alcoholic. He's very much what Tony would have been without the privilege and the wealth that was taken from him by Tony's father, right?
That's incredible.
Whereas Justin Hammer is what Tony would have been without the capture. He's everything Tony was last year.
Yes.
And like last year, Tony and him would have, it was just a professional jealousy between them. Now it's like, I hate you because I was you last year. Whereas before it was just like, oh, he's a competitor, whatever.
Got a different theory on that, you know. I think deep down, Tony's trying to help Hammer. On a very sort of like, on a much deeper level, I think Tony's being the kind of cunt that if he had, he wouldn't have gone as far as he did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
You need that one person to go, you are a fucking cringy bastard. Stop this.
I think they're both excellent, but I think they're both completely underdeployed. Whiplash only really gets
1,000%.
one scene, which is, well, he gets two scenes. The first is the attack at Monaco, and the second one is the very brief chat that he and Tony have. The only scene they share for 90% of the film, where he's like, "Your family are murderers and thieves, and you're doing exactly what any murderer or thief does. You're trying to rewrite your history." I'm like, "Oh, this is going to be a fucking film." He's just set his clothes on fire whilst activating his suit and just shit mix Jan Mardenborough being like, not quite my tempo. Was I rushing or dragging? Was I rushing or dragging? Was I Russian or dragging? Ooh. I just mixed 4 films.
That's a confusing noodle soup. Okay. In the scene where like Mickey, in the scene where Whiplash and Tony Stark are talking in that cell, it kind of gave me like Batman Joker vibes.
Right. And that's exactly what Whiplash could have been with this backstory, because he's got the backstory of the Amazing Dynamo from the comic. So it's that whole thing of like, oh, your pasts are linked and your destinies were going to be the same, but one was robbed. Beautiful. And it's played by Mickey Rourke, who's probably the only other Hollywood actor with the same past as Robert Downey Jr. and talent, right?
It's incredible. But I mean, in that scene particularly, though, there was a moment where I was like, this man, Mickey Rourke, looks like the kind of guy that dribbles when he concentrates too hard. Do you know what I mean? But then in the same breath, he also looks like he would wear your skin to a fun Halloween party as a joke. Yeah. But the other guests at the Halloween party are your family. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the sort of person that he presents himself as in that moment. And I was like, I've never been more terrified and confused and on edge all in like one moment. And I was like, I'm not sure how I'm handling this right now. And at that point, I was like, this film is going to get real fucking dark real quick.
Because
I was there for it.
I think it was. And I think I was watching the behind the scenes, and Robert Downey Jr. and Jon Favreau were talking to the first room of extras on the first day of filming. And they're like, we want to keep the humanity. We want to add complexity. We want to deal with the legacy and what Iron, like, we know who Tony Stark is. Who is Iron Man? What right does he have to be that? And what does that look like in this world? They get Mickey Rourke in, right? Who honestly gives 110%. So he learns half of his dialogue in Russian. He starts training when he starts wearing the suit and he's still fucking up. He starts training with weighted suits on. He researches all the tattoos that a Russian gangster would have. He suggests the bird, right? And pays for the bird. Pays for his own teeth to get fucking golded up, right? And it goes right, backstory. Basically said the hardest part of the film for him was learning how to use a computer, looking like it was natural. At no point in this film...
What the fuck?
At no point in this film was like, Mickey Rourke's never touched a computer before, but Mickey Rourke had never touched a computer before.
That's incredible. That's actually incredible.
He gave 110%.
Mickey Rourke shows up to filming and he's like, yeah, this character's fine, but I have ideas. Give me a couple months to just nip over to Russia and do some in-depth character research on Russian prison tattoos.
Yeah.
Also, is anyone here allergic to birds? Because I've got this weird idea, and I've got a guy who knows a cockatoo.
Yeah. Also, I must run off. I've got 4 o'clock at the Anyway, must run. I've got a 4 o'clock at the library for computer club. Got to figure out how to open Word.
Yeah. Oh, mate, can you imagine him rocking up? Imagine the size of the keyboard that man would need. It would be fucking, those keyboards at the library, like the massive ones, mate. Yeah. It's going to be one of them.
Can you imagine the library?
Doing it like one finger.
Can you imagine your nan at the library going, I made a mate. And you're like, nan's made a mate at computer club at the library. And then in walks Ivan Vanko Whiplash.
With a fucking cockatoo on his shoulder going, my bud.
Do you like my bud?
Do you like my bud?
Mickey Rourke gave 110%, which is almost exactly the opposite of how much of this they put of that in this film. He's in it for like 3 scenes.
It's criminal how little time these villains get, considering the amount of work that's gone into them. You mentioned that there was 2 villains earlier, which is incredible. I agree wholeheartedly. Mickey Rourke's Ivan being one of them, and the other one being Justin Hammer.
But one of my favorite facts about this film is that Sam Rockwell was in talks with Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
Back when they were making Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
To play Tony Stark.
Yeah.
And eventually they met with Robert Downey Jr. They realized he's a recovering addict. Mm-hmm. It would be a better story, sort of Phoenix rising from the ashes. And they said, look, Sam, not this time. So when they came to casting Justin Hammer, the man who desperately wants to be Tony Stark but can't be, they were like,
Has to be Sam Rockwell.
Has to be Sam Rockwell.
Has to be. Tom Cruise won't answer our calls anymore because we turned him down. Yeah.
But I think Jon Favreau's doing that in a very clever way, trying to marry reality with his plots, right? And it comes back to why I think this film was cut to ribbons. Because if you look at Mickey Rourke's casting, as Robert Downey Jr. was a famous addict, he'd been kicked off Ally McBeal, he couldn't get hired anymore, he was uninsurable. There's only one other actor of that scale and ability in Hollywood, and that's Mickey Rourke, who's got the same story. So to cast Mickey Rourke as Robert Downey Jr.'s villain...
Did Mickey Rourke get fired from Ally McBeal?
Worse, he never even got hired. He never even got hired, right?
Sucks to be him.
He was too fucked up to even be on Ally McBeal.
he was on for one episode, but no one knew why he was there.
Yeah,
exactly. He just wandered onto set one day.
So having an ex-addict or a recovering addict playing a villain and having a guy who nearly got the role but didn't, I think Favreau likes to build that in.
It's beautiful. It's actual filmmaking within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it adds layers to the movie that are evident whether you're aware of them or not, because the subtleties that the performers can then bring to the table are vastly improved than the paper-thin fucking waffle that we've been getting for the last...
But I think Marvel was rightly cautious about having this film. Bearing in mind, they had Iron Man, huge success. The Hulk...
Huge success.
Hulk was kind of And then Favreau was like, cool, I want Iron Man 2 to be a really dark exploration of Tony's legacy and identity through these 2, fucked up versions of himself. And he's going to have a drinking problem, and his primary villain is going to be him a year ago, and his secondary villain is going to be him that never was. And they were like, you realize we need to sell toys to 12-year-olds.
This is what's annoying though, man, because it's like, that can be there too. Like, there can be stuff there for everyone.
Yes.
It's fucking Phantom Menace all the way through, man. It's Phantom Menace just went too far toy commercial.
Yeah, okay, that did. I don't think this does. I think this is a light and a fun movie. It's not got the depth. It's not got the depth of the first. I think Favreau tried to put that in, and Marvel were like, whoa. We made a fuck ton of money with the first one. Let's not break the formula here, okay? The first one was super fun. Let's keep it that way.
You can see that he was trying to sort of get the depth in there, right?
He was trying to do Empire Strikes Back. There's behind-the-scenes footage of him and Robert Downey Jr. talking to a room full of extras on the first day of the shoot, talking about everything the film's going to be, and they're like, it's going to be exploring Tony's humanity and his vulnerability and what gives him the right to be Iron Man, because it's not the technology. So if it's not the technology, what is it? And if you think of all the bones of this film, it's there. It is there, but it's just cut within an inch of its life. That scene where he's chatting with Whiplash, your family are thieves and murderers, and they're trying to you're trying to rewrite your history. That scene with Justin Hammer, where he's trying to schmooze him and talk about stuff. Oh, it's there, but it's cut with it. Scene where Rhodey's like, "I'm looking at you," right?
Yeah,
it's there.
This is the problem that I have with it, though. Right, it is there, almost. Mm-hmm. The intro is there, right? As soon as someone comes into the scene and is just sort of like the Rhodey scene, I'm looking at you, and I'm like, oh fuck, this is gonna get dark. Mm-hmm. This is gonna get like, this is what I've come for. You know what I mean? And I'm waiting, and I'm like,
all it needs is 4 more seconds held on Tony's face.
Exactly. It's just it misses the mark by so little each time. It's the most annoying amount that it misses the mark by. It's tiny, minuscule. It still hits pretty fucking straight, but it's annoyingly close to the center, like just missing the mark.
What it does is it makes it feel, it backslides on the progress in the first movie. If we're looking at this as an addiction allegory, right? And we're saying, Robert Downey Jr., he's got this, he goes through this big personal change, and it's him learning to accept the sort of mantle of this new responsibility and not being self-centered, not having these impulsive behaviors anymore. And then Iron Man 1 ends.
Yes.
Iron Man 2 is about maintaining sobriety, and in a sense, right? It's about, okay, now shit gets real, because now you're dying.
This is the journey. This is where stuff in real life happens, and you have to deal with it in a healthy way, using all the healthy stuff that you figured out in the first movie. Like that's the whole point of.
If Favreau had been given the time and the green light to spend that extra time and that extra self-reflection, it would be a great film about maintaining a life change. All right, Tony, you said you're going to be this. Now you've got palladium in your blood. Now you've got a villain called Whiplash who's got just as right to the technology as you, and is basically you without privilege. You got another villain who's you from a year ago. Deal with it and maintain these ideals that you've got. Exactly. You could have had that film if you had those extra couple of seconds. Without those extra couple of seconds, it feels like a reset. It feels like Tony's relearning lessons he's already learned, rather than learning to maintain.
Iron Man now, this film, he's gone from fucking dealing with his own shit on such a deep and profound level that just it hit, as a sober person, hit me incredibly hard, right? Incredibly hard.
For sure.
And now he's being pushed and pulled in every direction whilst spiraling the drain of death, right? And with that comes so little self-reflection. It's such a fucking shame. It's such a shame. And like, from one recovering addict to another that I had a very immediate sort of bond with in Iron Man 1, I feel like I'm less connected now, and it makes me not like Iron Man as much.
It's interesting because if you watch the director's commentary, you would die if you took a drink every time Jon Favreau said in the deleted scenes or in an early draft.
Oh, that's heartbreaking, man.
Like you can tell that. So Jon Favreau didn't come back for Iron Man 3 because of this film, because he was like, there was a film I was trying to make and you didn't let me make it.
That's understandable.
There's interesting stuff in there, right? Rhodey and Pepper, for me, is really interesting.
Okay.
Because it's almost like the two different styles of dealing with an addict. When you know somebody who's going through that, and they're prone to self-destructive behavior, right? You've got Rhodey, who's the disciplinarian, and he's like, dude, sort your shit out, all right? Here's a red line. Don't fucking cross that. And then the red line gets crossed. He's like, I fucking warned you. I'm taking your shit. This won't fly. You just can't do this anymore, right? Party's over. I'm stopping it. And then you've got Pepper, who is much softer and much kinder and much... In this film, it almost reads like enabler.
Okay.
I tell you why, there's a scene where she turns up to the birthday party and Tony is shit-faced and he's using his tech for party tricks. He's pissing in the suit. And she looks at Natasha, the PA, who's secretly a SHIELD agent. The first thing she says, she looks at Natasha, she goes, what did you do? What did you do? She blames a third party for the behavior of the person who's problematic.
I kind of understand that, though.
Right, how?
Because since Natasha's shown up, he's been going off the rails.
Yeah.
And I feel like because Pepper is used to dealing with Tony Stark, the adult man baby, in such a way where she will have an end goal in mind.
Yeah.
And then she will present this as to seem as if it was Tony's idea the entire time.
Yeah.
And then Tony instantly goes, I've just had a great idea. I'm going to do exactly what you want me to do, but you've made it my idea. You know what I mean? And I think she's gotten used to doing that. And then when Natasha showed up, there's tons of little things like she's overly flirty. There's moments, the dirty martini. Is that dirty enough for you? The little moments like this, I'd argue that Natasha is the enabler. Pepper is worried that there's an enabler on the scene who's not being Rhodey disciplinarian or knowing how to handle the situation as personally as she does, and that is concerning to her.
Natasha's deliberately trying to test Tony. We don't know it at the time, but she's literally there testing his suitability for the Avengers program. So she's there going, is that martini dirty enough? Because she's measuring how he reacts, how mature he is, right?
Exactly.
But I think the thing is that the problem in the situation that you just described is that Tony Stark is a man baby.
Yeah.
That's the issue. How the people around him deal with that is not on them. They're their own people. He's the one that's pissing in the Iron Man suit. And you can't then turn to the people around him and go, how did you let this grown adult man slip so far back? It's Tony's responsibility. And it annoys me.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah, it annoys me that Pepper sort of apologizes for and works with Tony rather than just going, you're a fucking child, bye. It's a really interesting contrast in the dynamic between the only two real friends that Tony has.
But I think it's because she's in love with Tony, though.
Well, yes, but social circle, Of Tony's social circle, we see Pepper, we see Rhodey.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that they're so opposed in the way that they deal with him. Is it explored in the film? Is it fuck?
No, not at all.
It's just nothing.
Not at all. I'm going to defend Tony in this one, though. I called him a man baby, but that's only because...
Great superhero, by the way.
Incredible fucking superhero.
Incredible man baby.
Yeah, no one's going to punch a baby. But the baby's incredibly strong, right? With the strength of a man.
But the body of a baby, yeah.
Yeah, the body of a baby with the strength of a man. No one's gonna boot a baby. They're just gonna be like, what the fuck is this? And then boom, they're choke slammed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It would be like Yoda in episode 2, though, wouldn't it? Watching those fight scenes.
I don't know what episode 2 is. Don't talk to me about prequels. Come on, buddy.
Fine.
You know me better than this.
Do you not remember Yoda zipping around like a little...
I don't remember the film. I've seen it once and I was too upset to ever watch it again. We'll get to it one day.
I can't wait to cover him. I can't wait to cover him.
Sure. But Tony's birthday party, I understand the man baby. I understand it. His blood toxicity is at 89%. Him and Pepper have never officially done anything. They've never said anything about this, that, and the other. There's the whole him signing over his legacy to Pepper as like a show of goodwill, but I think it's completely lost on her because obviously she doesn't know about him dying.
Yeah.
And then now he's thinking, this is my last birthday. What the fuck? What is this? Have I done enough to change my legacy? Have I done enough for people to not remember the mass murdering arms dealer? Have I done enough to present myself as the person that I want to be presented as? And then also on the same breath, he's like, this is my last birthday. I'm going to get fucked up. I'm going to piss myself in a suit and I'm going to shoot champagne bottles that are being thrown up by women in bikinis. Because fuck it, why not? I might be dead in a week.
That's what we do, to be fair.
Rob, if I got told that I was terminally ill tomorrow and I had 2 months left to live, I would immediately relapse. Because what else is there to do other than make everyone hate you, and then I'd wander off into the woods and die like a cat? Do you know what I mean? But it's a nice thing because then no one would miss me. They'd be like, oh, did you hear Ben died? Yeah, he was a prick for the last 3 months though, wasn't he? Yeah, fuck him.
No, I disagree. We've discussed this before. I think it's the selfish thing because what would happen is if you were
obviously selfish, Rob, but it's my dying wish.
All right, okay, my dying wish. All right, I'm going to make my dying wish just as bad. I'm going to just have on my headstone, Rob McFarlane, 1988 to 2023, open quotes, Ben Groves has a shit dick, close quotes.
I'll go one further and I'll put a photo of your dick on it.
How did you get one of them? It's fine.
It's fine.
You had your chances.
Yeah.
I think, no, so the birthday party thing I do get. Tony's backslide is fine. And what happens in this film isn't the problem. It's just the pace that it happens at.
It's the pace and the depth. We're in the shallow end of the pool.
Because you got to go so fast. You got so much to cover. You got two villains. And I feel like you could have gotten by with one.
Yeah.
Because they're never going to have an opportunity to have Tony Stark face off a villain so much like himself ever again. They've shot that shot.
Yeah, of course.
So to pick one, like Sam Rockwell is fucking incredible.
He is.
He is. His charisma, his like insane energy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he knew that Seven Psychopaths was a film.
I don't think he knew he was there.
No, I think they just pushed him on in front of a camera, and he just lived his life for a week. And they were like, "Cool, we've got a film." He's like, "Oh, were you filming?" I think he genuinely kidnaps dogs. And to see him in the Marvel movie, right?
I think he's so unhinged that Martin McDonagh just called him to hang out in the desert.
Yeah, totally.
Just sort of like, hey man, do you want to hang out for a bit? And he was like, yeah. Have you ever heard of mescaline? And then Sam Rockwell shows up already on like a week-long bender of mescaline.
Yeah.
And by the end of his trip, Seven Psychopaths was in the cinemas. Do you know what I mean? So the dance that Justin Hammer does at the Stark Expo where he comes out, right? Iconic. Beautiful.
It's Sam Rockwell's pre-take dance. It was an improv moment. It's how he G's himself up for a take. So he was supposed to just walk out. He was like, "No, I'm going to dance out." And that little dance he does is the dance that Sam Rockwell does when he needs to get his energy up for a take. It is incredible.
I adore that so much, man. I am going to need to do my own little Sam Rockwell dance.
Ooh,
if we ever get a chance to interview Sam Rockwell, can we enter the room
dancing to that song? Yeah.
As Sam Rockwell.
Yeah. 100%.
With pockets full of mescaline.
But I disagree with you. I disagree with you on this film about it not being a great film.
It's fine.
It's a film that no one's going to love, but it's a film that lots of people are going to like. And from Marvel's point of view, this is the first film that they're going to be like, this is setting a precedent, right? It's still early days, and they're like, John, we love your idea for a movie.
Yeah.
A couple of thousand people are going to deeply love that movie, and tens of thousands will like it. We don't mind if only 2 people on the planet love this film, as long as 1 million people think it's all right.
Yeah, I get that, but I just...
That's how you get $1 billion a year. Do you know what I mean?
That's the thing, though, like, they didn't start this fucking franchise on let's aim for mid. They were like, we're going to borrow $500 million and risk everything to make Iron Man. And that's it's the sheer balls of it that is just, it feels like it's whimpering in the shadow of Iron Man 1. It's not brave enough to step out on its own. It's not this, that, and the other. It's kind of coasting on the fact that now there's a Marvel universe, but people are going to come see it.
I sorely love the villains.
The villains are incredible.
I like what's hinted at there. Like, okay, one of my favorite things about War Machine, Rhodey, in this film, it's not in the film, but there's that sense that he takes the suit, like Stark has the party. He knows he's dying. He knows that his tech is still going to exist beyond him, and it needs to be in someone's hands safely. So, him and Rhodey have a fight, and Rhodey takes the suit, right?
Rhodey does, yes.
Thing is, it's very well fitted to that man's body.
It's perfect, some would say.
Some would say. And also, Tony Stark could turn that technology off with like 4 blinks, and he could ask Alexa, right? He's got so much security on.
I think his name's Jarvis, but we can call him Alexa if you want.
I'm saying he wouldn't even need Jarvis. Jarvis is too high powered. Right? He could find someone else as Alexa and turn War Machine's suit off from that.
I thought Jarvis lived in the suits. You know what I mean?
He lives everywhere. Jarvis is very much like the Holy Spirit. It's like Captain America, Iron Man, and the Holy Spirit of Jarvis.
So the second Rhodey's like, I'm taking the suit, bye. Jarvis, stop.
Yeah.
Fuck. And then he just comes crashing down onto the balcony again.
Yeah. 100%. And also, I don't think Jarvis is programmed for Corporal Rhodes' voice. So he's probably like, Alexa, play The Police. and it just rings the police. He's like, fuck.
I wanted Sting, but I got stung.
But Tony could turn the suit off at any time, but he wants Rhodey to feel like he's taken the suit, that he's taken the responsibility, that it's a choice he's made so that he can have ownership of it, rather than Tony being like, I gave it to you.
Is this a whole passing the legacy on, but you've interpreted it from the film that this is Tony's unofficial way of passing the baton?
It's not from the film. It's all headcanon.
It's not,
I can't credit the film.
Yeah, exactly. So I just need to bring up a small issue that I have with this, Rob.
Yeah.
We've recently done Neil Blomkamp.
Yeah.
In every movie that he's done.
Yeah, we have.
And the reason that you didn't like Elysium is because you had to do a little bit of digging yourself.
I had
and the
to
reason
do all
you
the
didn't
digging
like
myself.
Chappie
Yeah.
is because you had to do all the digging yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason you didn't like anything else he's touched is understandable. But my point here is, Rob, is that you gave me such a fucking grief-ridden time about having to dig into Elysium to get the meanings that I found. And then what I find here is that you've done this exact fucking same thing, but not just for a bit of fun, but because it's your favorite part of the movie is all the work that you've had to do.
Okay. I was going to rebut this. When you started talking, I was like, I'm going to shut this shit down. But instead, I'm going to go with it, all right?
Please!
So, annoying, right? It's annoying. Now imagine if I said, Iron Man 2 is the best Marvel film because of the way that Rhodey is given ownership of the suit.
Hold the fuck up.
You were like,
when did I say?
Is incredible film. Imagine if I was like, Iron Man 2 is an incredible film.
It is.
Because
it is.
It's good.
For some people. For some people, it is. And I can respect that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to shit on why they like it and then go and use that exact same fucking theorem to extrapolate love from another film.
I'm just saying.
Hypocritical son bitch.
Nice
and I said Chappie was perfect filmmaking for Blomkamp.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Apology accepted.
I just didn't want to get punched by Man Baby.
Mm-hmm.
Look, this film
I will send him.
Right. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. Are we still pretending he's not your secret? Okay.
No, 25. I'm Baby Dick.
Oh, okay.
I'm a private detective. His name's Richard.
Oh, you beat me to it. This film is 25 minutes too short. I accept that. If you'd given me an extra 20 minutes, everything that's in this film could stay in this film, but give me an extra 20 minutes of dialogue between Ivan Vanko, Whiplash, Mickey Rourke, and Tony Stark. They have 2 scenes together, and they exchange maybe 3 lines of dialogue. That is a criminal shame. Because you've got 2 titans. You've got lovely details in this movie, like Justin Hammer's hands. When Justin Hammer sits down with Ivan Vanko.
Yeah. I want my board.
Have you noticed Justin Hammer's hands?
No.
If you're watching this on YouTube rather than listening to it on another platform, we're playing the clip now. But Ben, look at this beautiful man's hands in this scene.
But if I might make a suggestion, you don't just go and try and kill the guy. I think, if I may, you go after his legacy. That's what you kill.
Filthy with fake tan.
I have never noticed that.
Right?
Ever. But that is fucking fantastic.
Right. So give me 20 more minutes of stuff like that where people are just sat talking. All the action's perfect. All the plot beats are perfect. Everything that happens is perfect. It's just the speed and superficiality with which we go over them. You've got these 2 dark mirrors to Tony, and all the film does is just check its hair in the mirror and go, yeah, look all right, and then move on. It's like, no, stare into that. I want more of that. You know, you could have had this lovely thing where like his father has cut out Ivan Vanko's father, and he's created this weapons company. He's got this element that could create a whole new world of free energy, but no, instead, he's become a weapons dealer. So you've got all these sins of the dad that literally run in the bloodline as Tony's blood is poisoned by this work that his father didn't do.
Yeah, I guess.
But none of that happens.
I think what you're describing, buddy,
right,
is A Christmas Carol. I think what you're describing with the villains is A Christmas Carol. So you've got Ivan. Okay. Correct me if I'm correctly mistaken.
Yeah.
Ivan is the ghost of Tony's past.
Yeah.
Hammer is the ghost of Tony's present.
Yeah.
So who is the ghost of Tony's future?
Blood poisoning.
Got you. That's a pretty fucking set. That's a scary ghost. That's a scary ghost.
A scary ghost, right?
Okay. See?
Yeah.
So what we're saying is Iron Man 2, great Christmas film.
Great Christmas film. It's not as good as the best Christmas film, Muppets Christmas Carol, but...
Stop.
What are you talking about? Muppet Christmas Carol is the best Christmas episode.
No, it's not. Die Hard. The Thing.
The Thing's not set at Christmas. It's in the Arctic. Just because there's snow doesn't make it Christmas.
I'm pretty sure it's at Christmas.
Do you want to play a game?
Yes. Can I take this week's game, please?
Please do, because I think you've prepared, right? I've got nothing.
Sloppy synopsis.
He says pulling out the cards. Yeah.
Mate, I'm obsessed with this game at the minute. Right, I'm going to give you 5. There is a 5-second limit on each one, buddy. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Kids play dangerous game to release man from captivity.
Jumanji.
1 point to Rob McFarlane. Girl has to give up her voice to bag her perfect man. Easy.
Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid. There we go. Athlete comes out of retirement to reach Grand Slam final.
Rambo 2? Deer Hunter.
No.
Deer Hunter would be a dark one.
Yeah, fuck. Gladiator.
No, that's not true.
100% true.
That's not... No. He's
Rob,
not... Okay.
I didn't write these.
Retirement.
I didn't write these.
Yeah, so the game is wrong. They've printed... no. You've not even seen Gladiator. You can't tell me.
I've seen Gladiator.
No, you haven't.
Probably.
No.
Underage girl seduced by dancing holiday camp employee.
Underage girl seduced by dancing holiday camp employee. Beetlejuice?
Dirty Dancing.
Oh, I've not seen Dirty Dancing.
Oh, God. What?
Nah. Or Footloose. Or Roadhouse.
What the fuck is wrong with you, man? I don't even want to play this game anymore. 1 point deducted for being an asshat. Right, you ready?
Yeah.
Space movie about reproductive cycle spawns 5 sequels.
Alien.
It is indeed, but
easy work.
Good job. You get 1 point because I've taken all the others away because you are categorically incorrect about Gladiator.
That you've not seen.
I have seen, probably.
You haven't.
And you haven't seen Dirty Dancing. That's another point deducted.
Okay. Two you have seen, I have seen, is Iron Man 2. And I want to know what you rate it.
6.
Wow, that low.
It's not that low.
6 is low. 6 is just above mediocre.
It's on the right side of the as is Iron Man 2.
Nah, man.
They aimed for like crowd pleasing and they nailed it, which is great. And it's great.
They nailed it. It's everything Marvel wanted it to be.
And that's awesome for Marvel. For me, it constantly feels like it's about to get into something and then it doesn't. And then it's like, oh, no, here it is. Now we're getting into it. Oh, no. Okay, we're on to the next thing. And it's just, it's a bit thin for my liking, man.
Okay. I think I'm going to go 6.8.
That is 0.8 higher than mine that you just had that ludicrous reaction about.
Yeah, it is. Maybe no, it's gonna go 7 now. Fuck you. It's a 7.
But that makes more sense.
Yeah.
That makes me less angry. Thank you.
7. Yeah, it's a 7.
Right.
It's not a great film. But it is a good film. You will put this on, you'll be entertained for the entire time it's on. And if you just want more Iron Man, you're not expecting a generation-defining movie. You're just going, I want more Iron Man. It fully fucking delivers. The effects are way ahead of their time for when this movie came out.
I'll agree.
And the thing I love about this movie, Ben, is it's like it leads you to water. You know, there's stuff there. If you want to dig in, it's all there. You know, you get to do your own thoughts. It doesn't even
give you the fucking conversation. It gives you like the first 3 words of the title and you have to guess the rest.
It just leads you to a place. It's a beautiful view.
You're such a cock.
It's
unreal.
All the beautifulness. Do you know what? 7.5. 7.5.
That's less angry. I'm fine with that now. That's kind of what I was expecting. That's fine.
7.5. I enjoy this movie. I think the villains are incredible. My main frustration is there's not enough on them and on Tony.
On Tony. Tony's the point.
Yeah. I could do without the Shield stuff. I could do without Nick Fury. I could do without Natasha Romanoff. I could do without Pepper, to be honest. It's Gwyneth fucking Paltrow. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know, man. The candles are majestic.
Time for Comment Corner?
Yes, buddy. I've got one here from TikTok.
Right.
It is on our Iron Man video.
Lovely.
One of them. I don't know which one. But Ken Bates says it's uncomfortable and displeasing how close we are to their faces.
Look. Video is new. Video is new for us. I spent 15 years working with sound and we bought the lenses we could afford. They are uncomfortably close. You have no idea how far away from my camera I am. It's like my own height away.
Yeah. So what, 4'5", 4'6"?
No, my own height, not dick length.
Oh, buddy. That makes me very happy. That might be the best comment we've ever received because same. We weren't happy about it either. But it's changed now. I've edited a little different.
Yeah.
Cameras are a little further away.
A little bit, like 4 times the distance, yeah.
Yeah.
Mega Face was a problem.
Mega Face was fantastic and I thoroughly enjoy. I miss Mega Face more than anything because you can just be scrolling TikTok of an evening being like, oh, winding down before bed, then boom, Mega Face. Just whoo. You know what I mean?
Startling, yeah.
Yeah, it was
World
fantastic.
of Horror Podcast got in touch and asked us to translate to US English dog water because we use it quite often.
We do.
And we've been quite UK-centric with its use. So, Ben, if you could give us the Collins English Dictionary definition of dog water.
It means wank or bollocks or something that is so...
Yeah, he says using 2 exclusively English words.
I see my problem. I see the problem.
Yeah. Okay, so
shit.
I would say...
It means shit.
Shit. Well, yeah, so dog water is like you have a little bowl of water for the dog and they drink it throughout the day and then you've got that last eighth of an inch. But it's just all like backwash from the dog. It's just dog water. You can technically survive by drinking it, but it's not enjoyable.
I didn't realize that you meant, can you explain the fucking actual meaning? I thought you meant like, what does it mean? Like, why would you use it?
Yes.
Not the actual dregs of a dog water bowl. And I don't think that's true. I thought
That's
meant
how
like
I've always meant it.
I thought it meant like hot dog water, the completely fucking useless bit of hot dog that you can never... What are you going to use that water for?
The dog.
No, you don't. I wouldn't feed that to my dog. You being serious? You're a fucking villain. You're the villain.
Yeah, and you're man baby. It's fine. That was Comment Corner. If you want to get involved, this week and the next couple of weeks, we are going to be reading comments from our YouTube videos. So if you're listening on an audio platform, head over to our YouTube. It's linked in the bio of all of our socials. And come comment there because we're trying to grow a new platform. And if you are on the YouTube a bit, bell, thumbs, subscribe.
You're so shit at doing this. You're so shit at doing this. Like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the show. Come on.
Disgusting.
We got this.
Look at you. Look at you, you disgusting like slut. How can you live with yourself? You thirsty bitch.
Guys, unfortunately, that's all the time we've got for this week. Thank you so fucking much for hanging out with us. It's been an absolute pleasure as always.
It really has.
We fucking love each and every one of you from the bottom of our hearts. Keep the love coming. Keep the support coming because honestly, fucking nom 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 nom. We're eating it up. It makes our day.
In the meantime, I'm going to do what society always does and just tell you to consume and buy stuff while Ben is going to wrap up the themes and thoughts of this film into a nice little motivational speech to thank you for spending an hour of your time with us, especially at the start of your week. And be kind, Ben. I like this film, all right? Don't just be a dick about it.
Why would
I? Really give them something nice, There, some people... We got a message the other day saying someone listened to us on the way into work. So this is for them, yeah? Okay. This isn't, because I'm just going to tell you to consume.
Don't even worry about your legacy, because odds are blood poisoning is on the horizon. You know what I mean? Maybe not blood poisoning physically, but metaphorically, it's coming. You know what I mean? And if we can all take one solace from this film, it's that no one will remember you the minute you're out of their eye line. because I saw this film when I was younger. Still don't remember it. Still don't remember it.
We're done.
Cool. That was good, right? That's motivational. Enjoy work.